Howdy and namaste everyone. My name is Parth and welcome to the Karma Yogi podcast, where we discuss how to attract extraordinary success and become a better version of ourselves every day. In this podcast, we'll explore personal finance management. Here's the question: what are some practical budgeting tips that can help me win with money? Firstly, if you are new to learning about money management, and if you'd like to know the importance of budgeting and why we need to overcome our internal resistance towards taking charge of our money, I'll encourage you to listen to episode 10. Budgeting is not at all easy, and it takes time to hit the sweet spot of managing our money well and also having all our basic needs and important wants met. Here are some tips that will help you in making a reliable monthly written budget and implementing it. Number 1. Make the budget before the month begins. It's wise to be proactive and make a written budget before the month starts. As we plan ahead and know of all the expenses we will encounter in the coming month, we will be ready with our plan. Trying to work out a budget during the month might lead to uneven financial decisions and we won't be able to manage our money effectively. Number 2. Zero it out. Make sure that you make a zero-based budget. This means assigning your dollars to different expense categories in such a way that your income minus all your expenses equals zero. Number 3. Have a fresh budget for every month. Every month is different in terms of events, experiences, and expenses, and it's important for us to plan for them accordingly. We also need to prepare for gift giving on festivities and special occasions such as birthdays and anniversaries in advance. But the best thing is that Thanksgiving always happens in the month of November and Christmas in December. What I'm trying to say is that major festivals and events don't switch their months, so with an effective plan we can allot our money and prepare in advance for these occasions. We may need to assign different amounts to the variable expense categories in our budget and add a new temporary one if required. As long as we are zero based, we are doing good. Number 4. Automate. Schedule days in your calendar when you want to sit down and go through your budget. For instance, going through your budget and expenses every Saturday morning. Set up specific days for bigger expenses like groceries every week and automate your bill payments online. Once we schedule and automate, not only are we able to track our financial progress, but it also frees us of indecision and procrastination. Once sticking to a schedule becomes a habit, managing finances becomes a cakewalk. Number 5. Make it simple and easy. Budgeting itself can be a daunting task, but there are plenty of options to make it a simple, fast, and effective one. There are numerous apps such as Every Dollar, You Need a Budget, and Mint that can help you keep track of your budgeting and expenses. To track my expenses, I previously used the Money Lover app as I found it simpler and easier than other technological tools that I had experimented with, and then later I switched to Every Dollar as it helped me integrate my budget and expenses in a better way. Number 6. Making paying off debt a priority. If you have accumulated debt, whether it be a tiny sum or a hefty amount, your first priority is to pay it off. As Dave Ramsey has remarked in his talks, books, and live events, we need to have a gazelle-like intensity and escape from the claws of credit card and other money lending companies. The best tools are using the baby steps approach and getting started with the debt snowball method. We need to stop letting debt take over our finances and life, otherwise it'll keep robbing us of our number one wealth building resource, our income. Number 7. Attending to your needs first. We need to be crystal clear and make a distinction between our needs and wants. Before we jump into other categories, we need to make sure that we take care of the 4 pillars: food, housing and utilities, basic clothing, and transportation. With diligent planning, we can make sure that we take care of these 4 necessities with minimal amount of money. It varies from person to person on how he or she would like to spend on these necessities, and based on that, these expenses can be balanced out with other variable spending categories. Number 8. Add some hooga. Budgeting can be a dull and intense process, so we need to make sure that our immediate surrounding and environment makes us comfortable and suits us. Play calming music or have a chai or any other beverage or drink that you prefer while you work on your finances. For me, caffeine helps me focus and feel good while I budget. On the flip side, you can also make it fun by playing tracks that you enjoy and add some snacks to have your budget party every month. Number 9. Do it together. If you are married or live with a partner, make sure that you and your partner sit down together to craft the budget according to your requirements. It helps both of you to be on the same financial page, literally. Budgeting will be a great asset as you build your dreams together. As mentioned earlier, you can make it a fun experience by having a budget date and have the session with a pizza or some snacks. It'll be a great way to celebrate love as well as your financial progress together. Number 10. Minimize. We all experience times when things are tight and we have to make some wise decisions. We can choose to have some budget cuts by letting go of cable, who needs it anyway, eating out less or not at all, and restricting our shopping at clothing and grocery stores. When we trim our budget and focus on the essential expenses that add value to our life, we get on the fast lane to financial freedom. Number 11. Create a buffer in your budget. It's wise to put some money aside for unexpected expenses during the month. We never know what expenses are lurking around the corner. I have a category in my budget called miscellaneous and always put some money there. Also, this helps me in sourcing an expense for a depleting category if required. If you see any expenses appearing in the miscellaneous category recurrently, then it's time to make a separate category of itself for better planning in the coming months. It's a good way to also generate awareness and nip in the bud any extra expenses that you believe are not contributing to your financial health. Number 12. Pay cash whenever you can. Cash is king, and as I've mentioned in my previous essays and podcasts, you'll always spend less when you use cash. For online purchases, we can use our debit card, but for in-person purchases, it's wise to always use cash. If there are certain expense categories that trip you up, it will be a good decision to experiment with the envelope system. I'm yet to use this method for monthly expenses, but it has worked like a charm for many people. Even though it may sound old school, it will help you in spending less money for things such as groceries, eating out, entertainment, transportation, and clothing, in which you may be tempted to spend more. Number 13. Cut up your credit cards and close the accounts. We are not putting boundaries on our expenses if we are still using credit cards. If our goal is to pay off debt, and if we still have our credit cards active, then we will face temptations to spend money using them as we battle our behaviors and constraints around money. Credit cards are like weeds that will rob us of our valuable money through interest charges. The faster we pay those cards and close them, the sooner we will have less minimum payments to go and eventually no payment at all. We'll be able to free up our income and spend it on worthwhile expenses and save a portion of our money for future. Stay away from credit cards and your financial life will be free of stress and worry. Number 14. Let go of peer pressure. Yes, the people around us, our friends, family members, or relatives, may influence us in participating in activities, going for weekend trips, eating out, cajoling us to have expenses that we don't want. We have to say no to them. There's a high chance we may encounter judgments, guilt, and fall in the comparison trap. We need to make these sacrifices so that later on we are able to enjoy the fruits of financial freedom. As Dave Ramsey famously says, live like no one else so that later you can live and give like no one else. Number 15. Set goals. As you take the steps towards financial freedom, we need to set both short term and long term goals. Consistently realigning our behaviors to our goals and taking action steps will keep us inspired and going. Some examples of the goals that we can be working towards are building an emergency fund, paying off credit card debt and or student loans, or saving for the down payment of a house. With goals, we will have clarity of the destination we want to reach and we will have the why behind our financial decisions. Number 16. Sacrifice. We will need to make short-term sacrifices for potential future gains. Unless we have the why power driving us, we won't be able to make these sacrifices. We may need to give up on some things now, but if we stick to the right plan, we will find ourselves in a much better place. We need to let go of instant gratification and instead become mature and plan wisely. A child does whatever he wants, not an adult. Number 17. Be patient with yourself. It may take months before you get adapted to this new behavior of budgeting and planning your expenses. It may take time to get used to it and you will experience failures and end up making mistakes. But you live and learn. With time and patience, once you get a hang of it and see its positive impact on your finances, you will never go back. Number 18. Keep learning. Keep looking for resources that will help you learn how to cut your expenses, pay off your debt faster, and earn more money. As you educate yourself, you'll find newer effective ways to handle your finances and manage your budgeting. Consistent learning will not only keep you inspired and fueled, but it will also help you understand why budgeting is not only money saving but life saving. Number 19. Dealing with inconsistent income. Many people among us are freelancers, self-employed, and or entrepreneurs having irregular income every month. Inconsistent income doesn't give you a hall pass to not budget. In fact, budgeting becomes even more important. A great strategy in these scenarios would be to budget assuming that the next month is going to be your lowest income month. You need to make a list of all the expense categories and ask yourself, if I had enough money to only do one thing, what would that be? Then put a 1 next to that category. Then ask again, if I had some more money so that I could do 2 things, what would the second thing be? Put a 2 next to it, and so on and so forth. Once you are done prioritizing your expenses based on their importance, you'll have a written plan for the next month. Always make sure that all your basic necessities or needs are met first. Now that you have a written plan with you, you will be able to direct your money accordingly as you get paid in the coming month. It's time for the next segment, Gratitude Attitude, where I talk about things that I feel grateful for, things that add immense value to my life. Keeping it in line with the theme of this podcast, I'd like to express my gratitude for the book, The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. This book and the knowledge within played a huge role in getting my financial life back on track. If you want to repair and redeem your financial affairs and get on track to managing your personal finances effectively, look nowhere other than this book. Dave Ramsey is the ultimate financial guru. He has outlined the journey to financial freedom in 7 baby steps and some invaluable lessons that include making a written monthly budget, building an emergency fund, and paying your debt from the smallest to the largest, aka the debt snowball method. I encourage you to consume this book multiple times so that you own the information and it becomes an integral part of your financial strategy. Before I wrap up this episode, I'd like to read a quote by Edmund Burke. If we command our wealth, we shall be rich and free. If our wealth commands us, we are poor indeed. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you would like to ask me a question or have any comments or suggestions, write an email or send a voice memo to podcast@thekarmayogi.blog. Do check out my YouTube channel as well, where I post helpful videos. I have different video series going on there, such as audio essays, where I narrate essays from the Karma Yogi blog, Karma Conversations, where I answer questions in short form videos and mindful moments, which are essentially nuggets of knowledge and wisdom in the sphere of mindfulness, spirituality, lifestyle, and philosophy. Also, I would encourage you to read my new book, The Way of the Karma Yogi. It's now available everywhere where extraordinary books are sold. I created it because it's the book that would have served me the greatest in my early years. In a way, it's the book that I wanted my entire life. It has some great insights and invaluable information that will help you tap into your primal genius and live an exceptional life. So do check it out if you haven't already. Lastly, if you want even more resources to create an extraordinary life and become a better version of yourself every day, plus some personal insights and updates from me that I only share in email, come visit my website at thekarmayogi.blog and make sure you sign up for my email newsletter. Focus on your actions and let go of the outcomes, because success is a journey, not a destination, and we need to keep working towards it every single day. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.